The only things that were not working was the ice dispenser and the northwest bedroom closet lights. So that change the bulbs out and check out, walk through. The dispenser's probably going bad, having the plants take a look. Everything else in the water dispenser's working fine.
Okay.
So it does have water and it does produce that. No majors. Potential safety hazards. So you got some good settlement in the driveway out there, and part of that section is dropped, and you got a little bit of a lip. It could be a trip hazard, so bring it to your attention. Same thing with an uneven brick walkway in the back. Installation of GFCI protective receptacles. So this house has some older wiring in the walls. They have upgraded the panels. You have two panels. You have a partial main panel outside, and you have one in here in the utility closet. It's got older wiring, so there's no grounds in most of these receptacles. So I recommend an electrician come in there and give you guys a GFCI breaker for the circuits that have the open grounds. They give you that added grounded protection. You do have a reverse polarity in the northwest bedroom on the south wall. The wires are backwards, so they need to just be pulled out and turn the wires around and fix that. The master is good to go, but it's these older section of the house because that's most likely an addition. All right. Speaking about additions, I would go to the city of Virginia Beach and pull up permits on this address to see if there's any open permits. Okay. When they do additions, they should have permits where they upgrade electric, plumbing, blah blah blah. Sometimes they're not in there. If they're not in there, they're not in there. But if there's an open permit and it hasn't been closed out, that's a red flag. You want to find out why it has been closed. All right, back to the safety. Kitchen sink. So you have one GFC on the wall right here, and it's an open ground, but it does trip by the button, so it's okay. But the one by the sink should be on the GFCI also. The bathrooms are okay. And I'd recommend a GFCI put on that exterior receptacle by your utility closet there. Okay. In the electrical panel, the newer one, or the older one in here, they've got a lot of cut wires and they're just taped together. They're not energized because I tested them, but they should be capped. You are missing a screw in the cover. There's also an old junction or old electrical panel in that back bedroom that's used as a junction box now. There's nothing in it but some wires running through it, and they're all capped and stuff. But that should be screwed shut so no kids get in there, open that up, and play with those wires. Water heater flue. The flange that seals up around the ceiling is dropped down, so that should be tucked back up there and sealed so you don't have any chances of carbon monoxide coming back through the ceiling there. You do have a lot of moisture stains around that ceiling up there, most likely from old leaks and the flashing up top. Today during the roof inspection, it looked good around there. I can't get in there to put a moisture meter on there, but I put my thermal imager on there, and I didn't see any thermal anomalies, which indicate most likely the presence of moisture. So they're old leaks, so I just recommend monitoring that now. The bedroom ceiling fans back here. So that kind of ceiling, they can't get in these attics because they're cathedral ceilings. So it's all extension cord wiring. There's no problem with wiring being on the outside of the ceiling, but if it is like that, it should be in conduit and it should be should be hardwired to the receptacle that's plugged in. Okay, so basically it's an extension cord wiring, and that's kind of unsafe practice. Talking about that. So
now we know why that's that way. You can't get in the attic. Okay.
You got two cracked windows. One in the northwest bedroom on the north window. Right at there's a little angle crack at the bottom. The master bathroom windows are pretty bad, and it's got shards sticking out, so I get that one replaced. Most of the windows have lost their insulated seal. So you know how they're two pane and they're gassed for thermal barrier? Well, they're just older now and the seals are starting to go, so you're getting moisture in between the panes. The windows still work and close like they should. However, they're distorted view, so I recommend repairing those or replacing them. They're an older vinyl style, so I don't know if they can repair those or not. Some of the newer vinyl ones they can reseal.
Yeah.
You can look into that. Normally the cost is half the cost to repair them by replacing them. They're just older windows. And then smoke detectors. So we've got smoke detector in the hallway and both sides. They are working. However, you should have one in each bedroom. And I put a CO detector in that back room where the gas water heater is. So you got gas heat, and then have one maybe here because you have a gas oven. All right, but you have electric heat pump. So CO detector, just a little plug-in kind of. That's it on safety. Deferred cost issues, typical cracks in the driveway. So amongst the big cracks where the trip hazard is, the smaller ones you should seal up. The siding had some visible damage on the back corner over here. Looks like weed or something. You can't really, you can replace those. You're not going to get that color to match anymore due to sun fading. But if anything, kind of seal up those holes. They're on the lower section, so it's not too big of a deal. The dryer vent's missing a louver out on the outside there, so you want to get a louver put in there because rats will get in there, and birds, and create a mess. Block up your dryer duct, then it won't dry. So I talked about the HVAC system being 2006, 14 years of age, general was 15 to 20, blah, blah, blah. Trained 20 years usually, but R22, so if you ever have a leak, you can hire a press to get that refrigerant replaced.
Her brother's an HVAC. Her sister's an electrician.
Why did they do
I'm
it?
like, come on now. Like, I was like, really?
So torn shingles on the flat lifted edge on the back of the house there. And again, I think it's a lot of it's got a little push up from that flashing over those gutters. Those gutters got a lot of pine needles. You know, they do some work and help keep the stuff out, but over time they're still going to get clogged up. So I'd recommend maybe upgrading your gutters down the road to a different style and lower that shingle edge down, because there's not much a roofer can do otherwise because that's put up on that end. I would have that section looked at, make sure there's no damage, and have that shingle repaired or glued back down with some roof sealant, just to get you till the next 10 years when it's time to get a new roof. So the exterior utility door's got a little bit of rust at the bottom edge. You want to paint maintenance on that, keep it from getting worse. Light leaks noted at the front exterior door. Recommend upgrading your weather stripping there. In the kitchen sink, you got a slight upgrade on your slight uphill flow on your drain pipe. It's just really tight connection where the disposal comes down. I don't know if they can do much for it, but what it's doing is just holding more water in your P-trap than it should have. So, and if you get a leak, it's most likely going to leak at that union nut there, that compression nut. So if they can, they should lift that up where the slope is all the way going down always from your drain. So not too big of a deal, but something that I wanted to call out to you guys. Front left burner would not light on the gas stove. The ignition's click, 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 but it will not light. The back half of that works, and the other two on they work. So it probably has a clogged injection port. Want to get that cleaned out by appliance ignition. That would heat it up fine. Laundry room window sash comes out of the frame. So when I lift, those are metal windows or older windows in there. When I lifted it up, it popped right out of the frame. Not the glass, but the sash itself came out. So I popped it back in there, just bringing it to your attention. Let's see. I'm not going to mention all the windows that they're in here per room, which one's a gloss or seal. So the hallway vent fan is very noisy in the hallway bathroom. Vent fan is like doot, 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 doot. So you want to replace that. The sink flow is marginal, and what's going on is your screen is clogged. I tried to clean it out and screwed it. As soon as I did, the flow came right down like it should, but a lot of debris came out. I put it back up there, and it just slowed the flow right back down. So it needs to be cleaned pretty good. The sink drain stop's not connected to the pull handle on the back of the sink. Window. The northwest bedroom door and the master entry door both stick on the header. So you probably had some settlement on the roof or something there. And the one that hinges loose, so I'd probably shave the doors down and adjust them so they close properly. They're sticking on the header. In the attic, the small little attic that you have over the laundry room area, you can see into the carport from the utility closet and stuff like that. So there is some debris up there, some pest droppings and stuff. So you may want to board that one wall up so there's no critters getting in through that area. And it really kind of goes back to that area. I can't see much because it drops down and it's a really low ceiling throughout. But over that laundry room area, you've got some bats of insulation that are kind of laid in there, but you got about 6 inches wide, about 4 feet long, that have no insulation, so your laundry room's gonna be hotter than normal. So I put in some more insulation in that area. You got typical cracks on these ceilings. They're all plaster cracks and stuff like that. It's no structural issues to be lumbered up. We always say recommend monitoring those. And that is it.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, hell.
So, wasn't that enough?
That is not much at all. I like it. I like it.